Welcome back everyone to our gameplay of Transport Fever as we prepare for the upcoming release of Transport Fever 2 in about a month or so as of the recording of this video. So in our very first video, we set up some basic transportation to take our passengers in each city from the residential areas up to the commercial areas or from residential to industrial areas. That type of transportation is going to be vital as we continue to grow these cities. And obviously, we're going to have to come back in and change these lines around, get rid of some that are not working for us, and hopefully trade them out for some that work a lot better. A good portion of the fun in a game like this for me is trying out different things and just seeing what works and what doesn't. That is so much fun for me to just experiment with different things. So what we're going to do at the beginning of today's video is, if we zoom out, you can see that after we left off in our first video, I went ahead and visited a few more cities here and tried to move things along just so that we can get to some different things a little bit quicker in the game. So now we have the top 4 cities on the map they at least have some basic lines. We have 3 remaining here at the bottom. So what I want to do at the beginning of today's video is, now we are in 1863, so we've gone forward about 13 years or so, and let's just take a look at what's working as far as our bus lines, what's profitable, what's not. So if we have our line manager is the most important window that we can have in the game, and you see there's a lot of green here. That's good. Now, I'm certainly not going to pretend that these are the most efficient and most profitable ways of doing this. I'm sure, absolutely certain that they're not. However, for right now, a lot of these seem to be working, some better than others. You can see here we're over 11,000 on this line, 8,000 here, but then you see there's some red here. So there's a few lines that I want to take a look at, and we're either going to get rid of them entirely because maybe they're simply not needed. Maybe the frequency is a little bit too high, and we need to bring it down a little bit. So bring down the number of seconds of travel. So let's start off by taking a look at some of the names here. I've gone in and I've changed the naming here. Obviously, one of the things that the line manager window does is it just simply shows you every line. So if you leave them by default, you're going to have line 1, line 2, line 3, and it gives you no indication as to where these lines are on the map. So I went back in and I put some abbreviations at the beginning. So we're going to have things like BAK, KC, which obviously stands for Kansas City, and then RC, which is Rancho Cucamonga, and SA, which I believe is San Antonio. Yeah, there we are in the center map. So different names like that will hopefully allow us to very quickly know where we need to go. The first thing at the very top of the list is over here in Bakersfield in the top left-hand corner of the map. And this particular route is losing just a little bit of money. Not terrible amounts, but certainly not doing everything that I would prefer it to do. And we notice here that this one is operating in the north-south direction at the north end of the city right now. So it's not making money. We take a look at the frequency at 69 seconds. That's not terrible. You look at some of the other numbers, it's among the lower numbers that we have for frequency, so that shouldn't be a huge issue. We also notice that there's not too terribly many stops. There's a total of 6 stops, so it shouldn't be a huge deal, but we're not making any money, so that is going to be a problem. Now, this one, I'm actually going to leave this one alone right now. We're not going to get rid of it because it's not losing much money. So we're going to keep an eye on this one and see if it can turn profitable as things progress and as the city starts to grow and so on. Next, let's move over to Kansas City for, looks like a west line. Where is Kansas City? It must be over here. Here we are. All right, so we're looking at this line. Okay, we've got 8 stops on here. And yeah, it's just not doing much. We're coming from a residential area over here, which is great. That's what we want. And then we're basically taking our customers into the center of the city around the commercial area. That would seem to be a pretty good route. However, we are not making any money. Now, one possibility here is that we simply need more wagons on this particular route. We're at 88 seconds, not a great number, not terrible either. You can see down here we're at 92 seconds on a different route, and it's making money just fine. So this one, I'm actually going to adjust this one by adding another. Let's add another carriage to this one. We'll go ahead and buy that one. Get rid of some of these extra windows, and let's say we want KC West, and here it is right down here. All right, so as we do that, that's going to take us down to 58 seconds, and again, this is one that we'll keep our eye on as time progresses in the game. Now we've got a couple that are less than 2,000 right now. Let's see, RC, which would be Rancho Cucamonga, right over here. Let's take a look and see. Now again, this one's not losing a terrible amount of money, but this one is, let's see, it looks like it is this route, sort of the light beige color. Has 8 stops. Okay, that's not terribly good. The frequency is not bad, 77 seconds. That's not terrible. One of the things I really want to do is experiment with some much lower numbers there, but we may need to wait a little farther into the game because I'm not sure about adding a whole lot more vehicles to each of these lines just because of the upkeep that we're going to have on the vehicles. But you never know. We'll try some out and see how it works or if it doesn't work at all. So this particular route, it could simply be that we don't have it going through enough different types of areas. So industry here at the beginning, then we've got some more industry, and I believe commercial when we get down in toward the center. Yeah, there's some of our commercial right there. But it's not heading into any residential. So this is a line that I'm not terribly certain that this one needs to exist right now. Again, it's not losing a ton of money, but let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Let's go ahead and, unfortunately, we need to move this window around in order to make this happen. Let's see. Let's send all the vehicles to the depot. They may or may not actually make it all the way to the depot, depending on when we get time started back up. Let's go ahead and close that out. And then we're going to get rid of this line. All right, so now that's going to give us 3 vehicles. Where do we want to put them? All right, so we're in RC over here, so we want to make sure that we stay with that. So we've got 2 very nice lines over here in Rancho Cucamonga, and you can see they are doing quite nice. 11.9 thousand, 5.74 thousand. So what we're going to do is the first one we're going to put on West Circle. Okay, there we go. That takes care of that one. And let's see, now we're going to have, let's see what we need to do. Let's do RC Maine. All right, there we go. And then we're going to go back to West Circle and try to get these numbers down as low as we can. Now, it could ruin the profitability. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Again, that's what we're here to find out. All right, so we're going to go RC West Circle. And so this is another couple that we're going to have to keep our eye on. Now, in all likelihood, I'm going to very quickly forget exactly what their profitability was. So we'll just keep an eye on it long term and see if we need to make any adjustments. All right, the final one is over here in Kansas City. And this one, yeah, okay, so we're going to, actually, that's the wrong one. This is the one we want. San Antonio is the one we want, which is nearby the water, and I'm very interested to try out some water transportation between Tallahassee and San Antonio. So let's see how we're doing here. All right, so San Antonio South. So this one is a very basic, taking our customers from a residential area down at the bottom up into the center of the system. This actually doesn't look like it's making any money. So let's go ahead and send these guys back to the depot. And then we're going to get rid of this particular line. Now, of course, we're in San Antonio, so let's look and see which of these could actually use some help. So the north circle could use a little bit more help. It's slightly profitable right now, so let's give it a little bit of help and see if we can't jumpstart that. All right, so we want north circle with this one. That'll take us from 94 down to 63. I like that. Then we're going to have, let's see, we're at 86 seconds here. All right, so this is vehicle number 17, and I think I want to put it right here on north. The SA North NS. Yes, let's go ahead and do that. And I believe we have dealt with all of these except for the Bakersfield. So let's go ahead and get time back up and moving. And we'll keep an eye out on these and just see, hopefully, as time goes on, we will find that these are becoming more and more profitable and we have fewer and fewer in the red. Okay, let's go ahead and move this up to the top. Now we're going to come down and start to work on these final 3 cities. You can see Tallahassee here is not too complicated. This should be fairly simple. Let's first take a look and see. We got residential over here. Yeah, all this is residential. We come up to the top. There's some commercial. Commercial looks like all down in here. Then we've got some industry over on the right-hand side. Yes, lots of industry over here. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I actually like this quite a bit because this is going to give us an opportunity to do some straighter lines. So let's go ahead and pause time once again. Let's take a quick look and see how we're doing. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible. Some of these maybe not up to their full potential, but again, we'll come back to those. All right, first thing we need to do is set out some bus stops. And I believe we want to go, let's go one here toward the center, and then go one right there. All right, that should be perfect. And then we will add in some stops along the other side. That will complete that line. All right, so this is going to be TA for Tallahassee, and this is going to be west and east-west. Won't have to worry a whole lot about the names here because we don't have very many lines to set up here. All right, so let's go ahead and set these up. So a very basic line. A stop on either end. So we're going to touch on sort of the edge of the commercial district, residential, as well as industrial. All right, where are we going to put... Let's see, where are we going to put our depot? Looks like out here is our best option right now. We could also put it right over here. In fact, I like this idea. Let's put it right over here. And let's get it rotated around. Right there looks good. Okay, once again, passenger. Not many options at this point in the game for us, so we'll just take what we can get. All right, so Tallahassee east-west, got that one. And then let's see what that did for it. All right, we're still at showing at 3 minutes. All right, so we might need to add a few more to this one. Let's go ahead and buy at least, let's see, let's buy 2 more. Let's just test some things out here. So that's going to take us down to just over 2 minutes. All right, so this one should really put us in good shape. Okay, I was actually hoping for a little bit better there, but 91 seconds isn't terrible. All right, so next thing we want to do is, let's see, this is all commercial right here. Yes. And what do we have up here? This is all residential, I believe. or excuse me, commercial up here as well. Okay, so I don't really know that we need one running north and south, but I'm going to put one here. Wow, I'm not sure exactly how the passengers go. I mean, do they care? If they're going to a commercial building, do they care which one it is? I'm not sure. I actually have no idea if they care about going to the closest one or if there's a specific one. But I guess we will find out. One thing I definitely want to do is get another line down through here because once again, we'll be going from residential to commercial over to industrial. So let's go ahead and set up this basic route. All right, so let's see, right before the intersection. All right, then the same thing on the other side of the street. And again, I'm not sure that this is the best way of doing it, but it seems to be working at least a little bit to this point, so we'll stay with it for now. All right, 6 stops on that line. And let's see, how do we want to do this one? Let's do TA. And then we're just going to stick a 2 out here next to it. That should be good enough. We don't need them to be terribly specific, but just enough to let us know what we need. And then we're going to have one final one. But first thing we need to do is, let's see, so we have 4 on this other line. So let's go ahead and get 4 for this line as well. And load it up and see what kind of loading times and travel times we get with this. All right, there we go. Last one. All right, so we're in the 90 to 100 second range for each of these, and we'll see how that does. Now, I want to do one more line, and this is going to be a very basic line for us because I'm going to take it from right here to up sort of in the center of this area, trying to reach as much of this area as we can. And the idea here is I want to find out if the customers care which commercial, because we're going from commercial to largely commercial up here. So I want to find out if that is a valid route for us. I actually have no idea. So let's find out right now. All right, so this is going to be, we're going to name this as Maine since I will consider that our main street and it's running north and south. So only 3 lines here. We probably could have gotten by with 1 or 2 if we'd have made one big circle here. We probably could have done that. All right, so north-south. And we're going to start this one out with, let's go 3 here. That might end up being too many. All right, oops. That one did not go. Why did that not go? That's weird. Did I? Oh, I didn't put any. How about that? All right, so let's get rid of this. You might have noticed I set up the name, but I didn't bother to put any stops out there. Wow. Talk about getting ahead of yourself. Okay, let's do that real quick. That doesn't take very long. So no wonder it didn't like me. Okay, let's do road vehicle 60. In fact, let's just go ahead and click on them right here. There we go. All right, where does that put us? 149. Okay, so maybe this last one will put us into a range where we want to be for right now. Around 100. Okay, so 90 to 100 for all of these. Once again, let's go ahead and get time started. Here you can see all of our carriages filing out. And of course, at the very beginning, they're going to be losing quite a bit of money. Let's take this opportunity to scroll back up. Let's see, we are slightly negative on this. This one actually, I believe, has turned negative. Okay, but not terrible, though. That it certainly could be a lot worse, so I don't think any changes we made today have hurt anything. All right, so while that's up and running for a few minutes, let's come over to Wichita Falls, and let's go ahead and pause time once again. Looks like 2 routes are going to be all we need here. One running north-south, one running east-west. So we've got residential down here, then commercial, of course, in the center. And then, oh wow, this definitely looks like an industrial area at the top. Okay, yeah. So in the center, commercial, industrial at the top, and the rest looks like residential. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and let's set out some stops. We're going to do a couple here. And then finally a couple up here. So that should serve all of this area. Then let's come down here. And not a whole lot over here. So we're only going to put 1 there for now. Then we're going to put 1 right next to the center line. And then finally, let's see. Let's go ahead and do a couple right here. Okay, and I think that's all we need. I don't think we really need to branch off into these other areas just yet. So now we are in Wichita Falls, so we'll use WF for this one. And hopefully I don't forget to actually add the stops this time. Let's do Maine north-south first, which means we need to go right through here. All right, so that'll be a total of 8 stops, which shouldn't be a terribly big issue. All right, and then let's set up our second line. Once again, change our name. And let's do this one, Maine east-west. All right, get our stops here. Once again, just making a nice loop here. Total of 8 stops. So we're going to have only 2 routes here, each with 8 stops. I think that's actually going to be just fine. Now, of course, we need to put our depot out there. You notice that our money is running a little bit low. That's one of the side effects of paying back your loan quite early in the game. But that's okay. We knew that going into it. So that's not a huge deal. Why can I not get this to actually be straight right there? Wow. For those of you who have any level of OCD, that is really going to bother you. All right, so we have the 2 routes. I'm guessing 3 for each, maybe 4. We'll just have to see. So let's go ahead and start out with 6 total. Maybe not. We don't have enough money for that. All right, so we may have to take out an additional loan if that doesn't work out. All right, let's start out with the 3 that we have up and running. Let's see, we want to go, I think we want to start with north-south if we have to choose. This is another great reason to sort of let the game run for a little while whenever you've decided to attack it like this. All right, so what does that give us? That says 134. Okay, that's certainly not good. We don't like that idea. So let's go ahead and grab 1 more. And that's going to take us way down on money, but we're certainly hoping that this is going to pay off. All right, so that helped a little bit. So now The last thing left to do is start time, and let's see what works and what doesn't. Now we're going to have to wait on Vallejo and see how it's doing. Let's see. So far, over here in Tallahassee, we've got, we're making no money. Not surprising, since it hasn't been running actually very long at all. Wichita Falls also just getting started. All right, I like this number, 46. That is a very low number. 57, I like it. So over time, the buses, or in this case the carriages, will actually work themselves out to a pretty equal distance between them, or at least that's what we're hoping that they do, so that we have the best coverage that we can possibly get. All right, so the one I am really not sure about here in Tallahassee is going to be this Maine north and south. We're going to see if that one works at all. In fact, at this point, we're going to have to see if any of these are going to work. You can see where our money's at. Let's go ahead and take a look in here at our money. You can see we've been making a good bit of money considering how small we've started, until we start spending a whole bunch on trying to expand, which is what we've done today. So our money is going overall in the right direction, or at least it looks like it is. But I don't like seeing numbers up around negative 5,000. That is no good. Let's see, you notice there's some passengers starting to pop up on the screen. So as always, we want to give it a little bit of time to work its way out. Let's come back up here, and it looks like, okay, not huge negatives up here. So it looks like everything is working out at least fairly well. Okay, let's come back down and focus. I don't like what I'm seeing off of this route right here. That doesn't look good at all. It is going negative in a big way. And in fact, as I scan for passengers, I'm seeing passengers along these other routes, but I'm not seeing any really in these areas. So this would be the first one on the chopping block. And in fact, it just continues to go negative. So I'm already going to do this. So only those 4 stops. All right, let's go ahead and just pause time for just a moment so we can take care of a little business here. Go ahead and send all of those into the station or the depot, and then delete that line. So we're already going to get rid of that line. Now, we do notice that already we've got a small profit that is formed on this initial east-west line. So we've got 3 vehicles that we could sell, but for right now, I want to see if we can build on this profit. So we're going to take a chance here, and we're going to add this one to east-west. That's going to bring down our number even more. And then we'll come into this other one, east-west 2. And bring that number down as well. And this one, we'll let it get back to the depot, and we're probably just going to sell this one. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of green here. I like that quite a bit. And so this is going to be our first opportunity to see if we dip down into the 40s on our frequency. Does that help our profitability? Does it hurt it? What does it do? I mean, is this going to be a situation where the smaller we get these numbers, the more profit we make? At what point does that stall out and start to become more of a negative than a positive? All sorts of questions that we need to get answered. Let's see, I can already see we're slightly negative over here in Wichita Falls, so that one's not bad, but I am noticing that this main line that we have that hits all 3 of the areas, it is making money gangbusters right now. That is really good. So now let's come over to Wichita Falls and just sort of see how this is working out. Okay, not bad. All right, so all right, all of these are doing okay. Certainly not the most profitable that they could be. We've got a few that are doing well. But overall, hey, we are basically in the positive How about that for all of them or nearly all of them? We got a few that are teetering right around that break-even point. So I'm pretty happy with where we are. Let's see. Details. Let's see. It's only 1 year old, which brings me to another thing that I wanted to take care of. Let's see. That was over here in this one. Let's go ahead and sell that one. All right, so we've got rid of that a little bit. We're at 71,000 right now, which is not terrible, not great, but not terrible. So we're hoping to avoid needing another loan, the one that we, just paid off or paid down substantially. All right, let's see how our money is going. All right, we are in. Oh, just as I was about to say, we are fully in the green. We've got this one that is teetering right around the break-even point. But overall, not too bad. We're at 15,000, almost 16,000 here. Wow, that's nice. We need a lot more of those. So what I'm going to be doing after today's video is I'm just going to go in and look at our highest balance routes, and I'm going to see if I can pick out exactly what makes them, or as close as I can, pick out the factors that are making them the most profitable, and then we'll make some adjustments in our next video, and hopefully by that time you can see our money is growing. Hopefully by next time we'll be able to tackle our final city and get some routes set up there before we move into some industry, and then eventually hopefully we'll have enough money to set up some basic train routes, but that's going to take quite a bit of capital outlay. So that's not likely to be very soon that we're going to do that. All right, we got a few that are dipping into the negative now. Really struggling to get up over that profitability. But overall, by far and away, our best route right now of the new routes we set up today is over here in Tallahassee. This one is just an all-star right now, right around 16 to 17,000. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Transport Fever.